Is this making you smile, making you feel good, making you want to groove and shake, putting you in a good space, good energy? Well, according to expert of music, Dr. Michael Bonshaw, that is scientifically the happiest song ever. Now, let's break down a little bit. When I say break down, I'm going to read it. He's going to break it down for us. The scientific formula for happy songs is major key plus 137 BPM plus seventh chords and strong beat plus 4 chords in every bar, short intro, verse and chorus and repeated riffs, high volume, bright tone, predictability, and surprise. Now let's get deeper into that because we've got Michael who joins us here to break it down further. Michael, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm very well. Thank you, Sanchez.
And not just very well, hopefully very, very happy after hearing the scientifically dubbed happiest song ever. Just run that formula by me one more time. You know, I feel like I may not have said it in the best way, best delivery. But let us know what that means.
So I'll tell you how I came upon it as well. I was involved with a survey that Mullerlight have issued to everybody to find out about their happiest songs, and I was asked to do a literature review, which meant looking at a lot of research into music and mood. And from that research, we kind of came up with, I came up with this formula. So a major key, which means that it's in quite a bright key. That it's fairly fast. We've got down here a fairly specific 137 beats per minute, but that really is kind of give or take. In some of the studies, they talk about music between 140, and 150 beats per minute. And having analysed quite a lot of happy songs, it does seem that's about the average. Seventh chords are the ones that sort of create a little bit of tension. So rather than just straightforward major chords, there are seventh chords. They add a bit of drama. There's a strong beat with usually some kind of binary rhythm, either 2 in a bar or 4 beats in the bar. So it's very, very danceable. Makes you want to get up and start moving around. Short intro I've put into the formula. What that tends to mean is that there's no messing about at the beginning of the song. So basically we get straight in there with one of the main themes. Verse chorus structure. So it becomes familiar very, very quickly, the words and the music and the rhythm. We have repeated riffs that people can get to know very quickly because research shows that people actually enjoy familiar music or music that they can become familiar with very quickly. So it fulfills certain expectations. Mm-hmm. High volume means not high volume all the time, obviously, but a sort of high level. So we're going from sort of probably medium loud to very, very, very loud and back again, but not going too quiet. And also a bright tone. So the instruments that are used or the voices that are used would have a bright tone. So instruments like brass and bright piano sounds, that kind of thing, tend to be uplifting. And the predictability and surprise element, that kind of brings us back to the familiarity element, really, because many people do find that they enjoy things that are most familiar to them. But obviously, if it's all very repetitive and becomes over familiar, it can become boring, so we don't enjoy it anymore. So often a happy song will have some surprise elements in it. Might have a big key change like you get in the Eurovision songs very often, that makes the song even more uplifting. Might have some really unusual bright chords maybe that lift it even further. And of course, many songs have a middle eight or a bridge that's a little bit different to the rest of the song, so it kind of breaks up the potential for monotony.
Dr. Bonshaw, I wonder if you could speak to the power of music then, because you've broken it down in so many ways, whereas, let's say the average person is just listening to music for the love of it, and sometimes can't put their finger on why they enjoy it, or why this resonates with them, why this really sinks into their soul, why this reminds them of a certain experience. How powerful can music be?
Well, it's really, really powerful for lots and lots of reasons. And you use some of the key words there, I think, about the music speaking to us. I think that, as human beings, we're kind of conditioned to respond to rhythm. We have our own rhythms, we have our heartbeats and our kind of breathing rate and so on. We respond very strongly to rhythms, and we tend to synchronize ourselves with musical rhythms and indeed other rhythms as well. So we automatically tune into some of the main elements of music. And there are some very, very strong physical reactions to music. So listening to a piece of our favourite music can lead to a relaxation in the autonomic nervous system, which is a very complicated way of saying that it reduces our heart rate, it slows down our breathing rate, it can bring down the blood pressure, and also reduce muscular tension. So actually, the music has powerful effects on us physically, even though we don't really realise it most of the time. I think most people kind of instinctively get a feel that music is helpful to them, because we do tend to all use music in a sort of therapeutic way, don't we, to lift our mood or to change the atmosphere in a place. So that's the physical side. And then it goes even deeper than that, actually, because psychologically, again, listening to our favourite music has an effect on our reward hormone. So it increases dopamine, makes us feel happier, and it reduces the stress hormone, which is cortisol. So really, it's a win-win situation.
Wow, I really do love that. I mean, I remember I watched this thing one time and talking about how obviously humans are made up of X% of water, and what certain tones and certain rhythms and sound waves can do to water. And, we are very much in tune with the planet and with music way more than we either know or even care to give our attention to. So this is really powerful stuff, and it's definitely an introduction into how important what we hear and what we let into our lives as far as music goes can have an effect on ourselves. Let's talk about the top 10 for a second. What's your thoughts on this? Because I'm looking at them now and I'm playing them in my head, and they all do kind of sound a little bit similar. With not too much diversity, we've got two of the Beach Boys in there. What's your thoughts on these top 10?
Well, after kind of coming up with this formula, and again, we must say the formula is not totally generalizable, because obviously people do react to music in different ways. We're all individuals and we all have different associations that we have with music. And sometimes the music that's our favourite will go back to happy times. But yes, the songs that I came up with after doing a bit of an analysis that really most closely fitted the formula were Good Vibrations, which you played at the beginning of this section by the Beach Boys, I Feel Good by James Brown, House of Fun by Madness, Get the Party Started by Pink. So as you said, they've got a very similar feeling. In fact, in some of the research that I was reading, studies were finding that a lot of the music that people perceived as happy actually had a lot in common with the music of the 1960s, which is that's the kind of style that we're looking at, isn't it? Even if these weren't all written then, they've got that feel to them, haven't they? That danceability.
I honestly feel like music is such an important thing, and I'm looking at those songs. Like I said, I'm playing them in my mind, and I feel like I'm a DJ as well. I feel like I could mix so many of these songs in and just have like a good half an hour of just great times. I feel like I might even I'm gonna make a playlist, by the way, of these songs.
Please.
I'm going to make it. I'm going to consider it done. For those who are listening right now who share both our love of music and how powerful it can be to affect and impact our mood, what would you say to them as far as how much they should listen to music, or how, I don't know, how much they should actively go and try and listen to good songs?
I think although we've come up with this, formula for what the most common components of happy songs are, I think that to make ourselves happy, we need to listen to the music that we like the most, that makes us feel good. So we can't be prescriptive about it. I mean, as I say, this has been a really fun and exciting project. But I think really, choose what to listen to, whatever is going to make you happy. And I do think there's a place, isn't there, for making our own playlist of our own go-to feel-good songs. I think to kind of improve how we're feeling physically and psychologically, and all the other things that it does. I mean, it's so much easier, isn't it, to do a bit of housework with some Queen on.
Well, I'll tell you what, it might be a cultural thing, and I'm not sure what your background is, but in my household, on a Sunday morning, when reggae music was playing, we knew it was time to get up and clean the house. And it even becomes
Yeah,
a thing now. I've got my own house with my partner and my daughter, and music comes on, and the dishes seem to go a bit quicker. The hoovering just flows. The sweeping is just like a dance. So yeah, definitely music, along with the things that we do, is massive. Dr. Boncho, thank you so much for being on the show, and continue to spread your happiness through music beyond. We appreciate you.
thank you, Sanchez.
What's your thoughts then? And you know what it is? Let's make a kind of playlist from now. Tell me your go-to favorite song, just the one. What song makes you happiest? You're in a bit of a rut, or even you're happy and you want to be happier, you want to get yourself boosted and ready for the day. What is your go-to song? Drop me a text, 81333, start your message with the word Leeds, or WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Let's get it done.